discovered they were digging into it last year.
Rabbits were digging into your couch?
I have 2 pet rabbits, and they don't have access to the couch, or well, I guess they do. They haven't done it recently, but they were digging a little bunny tunnel into, fortunately, our very cheap IKEA couch. And we're live, and everyone just heard that story about my rabbits. But anyway.
That's cool. No, people need to know that.
Yeah, rabbits will dig holes in your couch.
All right, so we are live. And did you put that into general, Jamie? Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah.
I did.
Cool. All right, so let me switch over here. Oh, I have to share from over here. All right. Okay, so we'll take a quick look at this. So adding filters to the handlebars, I think this is definitely something we want. Anybody have anything that they want to expound upon that? I would say my inclination is to put this into accepted minor. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's take a look at this. I remember seeing this morning. Yeah, I think I hadn't seen Jamie's last comment, but I remember reading I remember reading your comment, Justin, earlier this morning, and yeah, right now the issue is root pretty much owns that that hab sub directory, and so non-root users trying to do anything that touches that blows up. But as Jamie says, there's no hard reason why root needs to own that directory. In fact, it's probably it would probably be best for that not to be the case. The question is, I guess, is if not root, then who or how would you specify that? But that does sound like something that we would want to iron out, and we'd want to definitely drop the hard requirement of running those commands as sudo. So, was somebody about to say something?
I was just going to say, sounds good. I just brought it up because we have a pattern now that we're evolving where we have a service and the service needs to start its proxy, or we have a data service and the data service is going to start its backup thing. And the data service or the service that's being proxied doesn't have to run as root, but we have to make it root in the plan to be able to run have service load, and that's kind of annoying. So.
Yeah, it makes total sense, because I can imagine, all sorts of, non-human agents that might want to run, load or whatever, and having to have all those run as root was just, that's not a good place to be. I'll move this to accepted minor. Okay. All right. Let's see. We have these explained. Yeah, I guess if this prescriptive guidance, or if the guidance that we have here isn't prescriptive enough, what do we? Oh, I see. Here we go. Okay, yeah. In fact, actually, like I can remember when I was writing my first plan, having lots of like little question marks, and I mean, I was able to figure it out along the way, but I thought it would have been helpful for sure if there was more than the sentence that's here today. So this resonates with me. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, I gave my kind of +1 to this one too. I hit it as well, and it's like just to have some kind of clarifying information. People end up wondering what's different between them, and then it's kind of hard to explain what is different between them, other than just convention-related things. So yeah, I think a couple words would help to clarify, probably.
Cool. And yeah, I'll put this in accepted minor. It doesn't really seem like appropriate that we would ask, that we would put under help wanted. So I think accepted minor is appropriate.
Cool.
Okay. So this is, yeah, I'll just let people read over this real quick.
It's just more handlebars helpers.
Right. It's along the same vein of, yeah, the first one that we looked at. So in addition to, yeah, the helpers in that one, this one's pretty specific about getting the count and the length. I'm just gonna, not that I'm gonna just put, I'm putting everything into accepted minor here, but this one is, I think that's the appropriate thing to do here as well. Okay, so let people read this. Okay, so looks like this is about getting so we have a unique ID for the members, but this is different. Essentially we want like a sequential, not like a GUID, but just a sequential integer for members in a group. So it looks like this has been discussed fairly actively over the last few days. I'm gonna label this discussion. We're discussing. It looks like Jamie had something that at least at one moment was satisfying. Let's see. What was it? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, the irony is this is exactly what a key value store is really good at doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, unless I'm misunderstanding. So I mean, one thing that we could do on our end is either simplify the member ID or come up with another property off of those members. But I think unless anybody else has anything else to add, we'll just keep this in discussing and just let kind of let the thread play itself out. At least for the next week.
If there was magically a microservice I could ask that would just give keys based on my own supervisor ID or whatever, that would be easy. Otherwise, at least the service group needs to basically like vote and agree that you haven't used my ID, right? I'm still 5. It's not to say it's not doable. It's just that's I think why there's a lot of silence. It is not straightforward.
Yeah. No, it's not.
The complexity goes up pretty quickly with the more instances you have in the group.
Yeah. Yeah, my original thought was, oh, well, if you could sort your identifiers and then probably get a ranking on that. But as soon as a new member comes in, that ranking order is totally blown up. Or everybody gets new IDs, which is totally not what Zookeeper wants.
Okay, let's see. Oh, more handlebar operators. Okay, so let's see.
Also more Zookeeper IDs.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is somewhat related to what we were just looking at. So basically, they want to be able to. It looks like they're looking to increment the ID through the handlebars, possibly as a way of addressing that. So yeah, I mean, we could just add another, like increment or something, some function along those lines. So I think probably the right thing to do is to go ahead and take all of these handlebars functions, move them to accepted minor. But I think Tasha and or Jamie should probably, or somebody else, look these over, and we'd probably come up with a plan, or basically consolidate. We've got these three. I think there's 3 issues now, but we consolidate them down. Either consolidate them down, or perhaps even fan them out. But come up with a plan of what are the helpers that we want to support, and then just tackle those. But I'll just move this into accepted minor for now, just so that it gets some visibility.
Would that be something for an RFC? I'm not
Possibly.
sure if
We don't have the Habitat project doesn't have a formal RFC process, though I believe that's something that Ian is looking at. People have filed issues that are kind of and kind of put like, this is an RFC type of an issue on it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there's not a formal RFC right now. But all of these helper related ones look totally valid. I mean, I think we definitely want to address the handlebar helpers as a matter of principle. Okay. Oh yeah. So I remember I've looked at this because I just saw this issue. I looked at it briefly because I was kind of uh, in this code. So for to be clear, like Habitat, our code doesn't directly uh, print out these help messages. So this is basically this is controlled by clap, which is that's the library we use to handle commands and arguments through our CLI libraries, and so it's got this kind of this API DSL API where you declare these are the arguments that I take. This is their default values. These ones are required, etc. And it takes that information and uses that basically to print out these usage messages. But I was noticing, so we depend on that being correct. Ryan, who was trying out this particular command, is getting an error, but he's doing the right thing as far as what the usage is saying. And I tried the same thing, and what it looks like is that if you were to take out the bind parameter here, it would work. Here's my guess. This is just a simple hypothesis: is there might be a bug in clap in regards to parameters that take multiple values.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that struck me as being different about the bind parameter from the other parameters I was trying, because it was everything was working just fine for me with a lot of the other ones like strategy and topology, but the bind one kept blowing up, and it was the only one that took multiple values. So I think the best that we could do here is address this in the clap crate, which is definitely something we should do. I'm not going to label this or move the milestone right now, but I'll just make a comment to this effect, and we or somebody should do that. So let's see. Two P's or one P, doesn't it?
For clap itself?
Yeah.
I think it's just one. It's just one, I think. I was looking through the changelog because these roll out frequently, so there's a chance it's already been fixed, but
oh yeah, true.
It may have been filed though.
Okay. right, well, I think that's all the issues. We'll just leave these two kind of open to revisit next week if they're still hanging out by then. Take a look at some of the pull requests, but I think most of these are. See, at endpoint for getting jobs from project. Okay, this is here. Let me. All right, I know this one's done by Chris, so I don't think we don't need to discuss that here. That's on our board. I put in no project. It's just not on the project, but I'm sure it's linked. I'm sure it's linked to an issue that's on a project. This one's actually mine. I'm waiting for review on that one. It's a bug in the supervisor with when there's when loading a service blows up, it doesn't show up in the status when it should. Cleanup of package metadata parsing. That one just came through. This isn't on the project. Let's see. This is cleanup of the core modules, metadata parsing. To bifurcate the parsing from I/O so that the code can have unit tests run against it. I believe. Okay, so he removed the work in progress. So this is good to look at. All right, looks like getting rid of the try syntax, which is always a good thing. Looks like he's extracting a lot of this logic into this parse key value function. Well, I don't think we need to spend the whole this time for like going into this in detail. I mean, I don't see anything here that stands out as severe red flags, but it was just put out last night, so we'll give people time to look at it on their own time. It's nothing that's doesn't look like it's anything that's needs urgent attention. So we'll just let itself play out. And some C names. Oh, this was something that Chris had. I'm sure this is related to something on the. Chris, are you here?
Yeah. I was just trying this because I thought, I might be able to do that. Yeah, but I think this is how we would add the ones we want to add for this issue. But what I wasn't sure about was how to handle the top level redirection that I think Tasha wants to achieve. Like if I go to, build.habitat.sh, I end up getting redirected to builder.habit.sh.
Oh, I see.
I know of like the AWS ELB stuff, like could even do that. So that's where I sort of left off on this one. I mean, also I assume that what I've done here is right, but I'm not sure because I'm super new. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Again, I mean, this has only been out there for a few days, so we can look at this. I am not well versed in Terraform at all, and I do DNS here and there, but not on a day-to-day basis. I mean, could figure this out eventually, but
in terms of Terraform, it looks correct.
Yeah, this is probably just fine. I just haven't merged it yet because not that I merge everything, but I haven't personally merged it just because I was just about to work on the acceptance requirement stuff, and that's it.
That's, I guess, why I kind of left it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, this is correct, though, by the way.
So the only difference in my mind might be a CNAME is going to like potentially leave you there. Versus,
Yeah.
If there's, I can't remember if AWS has an equivalent of like a URL forwarding record. Like some providers will do that. So you could say, if you hit this, it's just going to like redirect your browser to this other URL, which it just depends what the experience is and what the capabilities of AWS is. I can't remember offhand.
Okay, well, so in light of the fact that we are working on getting the acceptance out, I mean, even though it looks good, I'll hold off just so that I don't introduce more noise into that process. And Jamie, unless you feel comfortable, I'll let you go ahead and accept it, because I know that you're working on that environment. I just don't want to, add another disturbance to the force there. So.
Yeah, I will take care of merging it in. Thank you very much. It looks great though. It looks exactly what we need.
Cool.
Okay, log. All right, yeah, this guy do not merge. I know Chris Meyer's been working on that. We'll just leave that as is. Yeah, this is Josh is working on that. That's in the midst of being worked on, so we don't need to look at that. Remove implication. Oh, this is kind of an interesting one. So let's see. This is basically a dot change, and it's pretty simple. I personally like the spirit of this, because right now it is so like, yeah, so this is what we have right now. We say, and this is regard, the Hab Depot, you're basically running private Hab Depot. So currently we say, we will use the public depot provided by this Habitat project for this section. However, and this is where the things get sticky. However, it is possible to run your own depot by installing and running the Hab Depot package. Now, yes, it is possible to do this. Technically, we have the technology, and the technology does exist in this depot. It's not. This is incorrect. It's not possible by simply installing and running the core Hab Depot, but also, as things stand right now, yes, it's possible. And sure, we could go ahead and put down what you could, but it's changing on a day-to-day basis. And it's a totally moving target. So so what he has here, he's changed it to, it is planned to be able to run your depot by install. I mean, the only thing I would change here is I would say, I think this is good. It is planned to be able to run your own depot, and I would just put a period right there, because I don't think this is ever. On the other hand, this isn't a huge deal, but in the spirit of correctness, I would just say, it is planned to be able to run. We are planning to let people run their own depot. Maybe another sentence just clarifying, right now that's not the case, and that's probably something that we should probably go ahead and do, and it would probably take like 2 minutes to do that. Anybody else have an opinion on that, or a strong opinion about whether or not we should make this change at all, or whether we should hold off? Or
well, it's probably a good idea to drop that package identifier, because we're not building that anymore. So that's old anyways, and I don't have a feeling it's coming back, at least in that form.
It's never coming back.
Yeah. Good riddance, Have Depot.
What might happen is we may call a publicly builder the depot.
Yeah.
We've been discussing what the most appropriate name for the product is, even though it's free.
I mean, it's probably a good idea right now, not even to like put it, like just to leave it as up in the kind of like as open-ended as, as reasonable. I'm happy to go after this call to just to go ahead and do another PR that basically would be a more correct rendition of this, and then we could just move on from this. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. It looks like we've got lots of work in progress going on here, which we won't look at. And what's down here? Recurse into subdirectories inside config. That was old. Oh, I think I remember. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we looked at this a couple weeks ago at least. I mean, and this is so old. I mean, here, there's, absolutely, there's going to be merge conflicts, and it's, I even said something here. I'm just going to close this, unless anybody has. I mean, I think it's great that I feel bad, because somebody went, changed 13 files, and with no compensation, out of the kindness of their heart, and that's totally awesome. But it's just, I don't think it's fair to ask them to change this much. I think we kind of did that last time. We didn't get any response back, which is understandable. So I'm just gonna say that we're gonna close this and thank you very much. Basically,
that's our boy Nolan, by the way.
Oh yeah. I just I never this clearly does not look like like Nolan. So I didn't make the the.
I actually don't think we want to recurse into subdirectories. Actually, I was going to incorporate this change when I did the refactoring of rendering out the templates, and then I sat there and said, why? Like, why do I want to have subdirectories here? I couldn't see the reason. I forgot this existed, by the way. So it wasn't because I read this either and then was like, this is a bad idea. But I had the option, and I opted not to do it because of just additional complexity. Like, you're not going to have hundreds of config files that you need to template out. Like, that would be a rare case, right? But if we do want to do it, I actually left a comment, by the way, in the code. You can read it. That's like, hey, if you want to add this feature, this is where you add it. I totally wrote that. So if anyone ever wants to add it, I wrote the spot for it. I'll find it.
Okay. So I'll just, I don't know if anybody has objections to what I just wrote, but I basically say, we're thinking that maybe we want to go a different direction, basically, but kind of put it out there. If you really think that you want this, we can discuss it later. But close it for now.
I just linked you to the code comment if that's valuable.
Oh.
I'll come into that PR and leave it for him.
Okay, cool. Oh, okay. All right, I think that was all the PRs. Let's see. Whoa, stop doing that.
There it is. That's the one time every time. I got it.
Is Tasha on? Oh yeah, you are. Tasha, I heard it in stand-up. You were mentioning that we were supposed to talk about something, and I forget what that thing was.
Yes, we are supposed to do a high-level project status overview for the community who's watching online. So what are we up to right now? We are working on launching Public Builder. We anticipate having a really cool demo for everybody on Friday to kind of walk you through all the work we've been doing for that. We have Ruby scaffolding out, and we've been getting a lot of positive feedback on that. And then we have a bunch of other work in flight. Also, we're going to be making it a lot easier to find our 100% public roadmap on the website in the very short term. And we're going to be launching our Habitat blog for Habitat-focused content. And if anyone wants to submit a paper for that, that would be awesome. Do you all have anything else you want to add to that short list? Cool.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of awesome work in flight. It's landing pretty soon, and it should be a great habitat zone in Austin in a week and a half. So if anybody is in town, we are doing a habitat social hour Tuesday evening. So yeah, if you want to know where, just ask for an invite. You're welcome.
I think it's also safe to say we might as well, I think in the same vein, that to keep an eye out today for a new release. So we did a release last week on Friday. There were a few bugs, mainly in the supervisor, some regressions there that we've addressed, and so we anticipate a patch release coming out today with fixes for those bugs. So keep an eye on that. Cool. All right. Well, then on that note, we will we'll close. Everyone gets 8 minutes back, and we'll continue on next week. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining.
Thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye.